And we're back. Manchester United rejecting strikers. Manchester United, I'll say that again, rejecting strikers. But as always, first and foremost, welcome back, you lovely people. For tonight, I wanted you all back on my own. I've shared you with plenty of guests over the last couple of weeks, so a couple of days. So I wanted you back on my own. Now, before we start the show, horrific news coming out today. Horrific news. I was sat in the office, and when it broke, I couldn't believe it. Didn't want to believe it, but unfortunately, Diogo Jota sadly lost his life along with his brother. This morning, the news broke. It's a moment that makes you remember that this is football, but they're also people, okay? And there's a family there that's going to be hurting. There is a football club there who is also going to be hurting, quite rightly so, by the way, retiring his shirt number. My thoughts, my prayers, and all my love go out to Jota's families and, of course, his football club, his friends. It's a tough one to take, and he will be remembered as, in my eyes, and I've said this several times, without going on about it too much. I've said, what a finisher of the ball. We've fallen foul of that several times. A lot of clubs have fallen foul of his finishing. If he could have stayed fit, I think he'd have been. Honestly, I think he'd have won so many more personal accolades. But the main thing we need to remember is that his family and everybody will be getting the support that they need. So, my redirects are off, are they? Thank you very much for reminding me, Wolfie. I will remember that one day. Yes, right. Let us start the show. Before I do so, let's go through some of these comments. Carl was nice and early. This is at 7 o'clock. Seen a few updates just now and seen the Bryan deal is edging closer, ever so closer. Fingers crossed. Fingers everything crossed. Yes, Andy, completely right. R.I.P. Jota. And yes, Ben, welcome back. It is terrible news. Valsey, welcome. Hope you're well. R.I.P. Jota. A lot of love. And this is what we love about football. I saw a comment there on Twitter, and I thought, you know what, you're right. It's when people say, "Oh, rivalries aside." No, when stuff like this happens, it's nothing. It doesn't matter about rivalries. It is about us being humans and being good people. And unfortunately, you do see some of the garbage online. Who I saw a video of a couple of people on TikTok begging for gifts and saying, "Oh, do you know what would make me so much happier?" As if, we fuck off. Don't need that. Anyway, Moxie Shun, hope you are well. RIP Diogo Jota and Andre Silva, forever 28 United in grief. Completely right there. Lucas, hope you're well. Hope you are well, my friend. And yes, what a player he was. And yes, the Bryan Brigade back in full swing. I've shared you the last couple of nights. I wanted to have you back to myself. Hi, Jamie. Hope you're well. So let's get into the crux of it. And Ben, can you lend that book? The book. Someone's mentioned the book before me tonight. I've got an interesting thing on the way about the books, but I'll let you know about that. Lawless gave me a great idea the other night when he was on the show. But hope you're well, Ben. Now then, Manchester United, what are you doing? We've got two strikers that are available. One of them was definitely available. One of them was so attainable that we could have quite easily signed him on loan without a fee. They were going to pay all of the wages, and we said no. Fan-fucking-tastic. Manchester United, I'm going to say this in the mic. Well done. We were offered, look who's here. The Queen is here. Of course she's here. Hope you're well, Sophie. Hope you're well. We were offered Jhon Duran. Now, I know a lot of Villa fans, and they have their opinions about the way it ended at Aston Villa. And I, for one, when I saw that we were linked, I thought, absolutely not. And look, 5 years ago, up until a couple of years ago, we'd have jumped all over this signing. We'd have gone, well, it's a loan transfer, with the fees being paid. We don't have to pay anything here. This is brilliant. This is what we can do. We can dob off the fans with another signing, build it up as something. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, we haven't lost any money. That's great that Manchester United have said no to that. That is fantastic. Ben Jacobs reporting that. Really good piece today from him. Yes, Geordie Toon for life. Completely agree. RIP Jota and Andre. Heartbreaking news. Yes, honestly, good to see the love from rival fans there. We're good people. And the other transfer as well that apparently we've turned our noses up. And again, a transfer we'd have absolutely been all over It's Calvert-Lewin. Now, here's my problem with the modern day footballer, and I kind of spoke about this with Lawless the other night. Apparently, this guy is demanding quite a lot of money in salary. Now, that would be like me leaving my job at First Choice Insurance and saying, that's it, I'm gone. You know, I've come to the end of my time. I don't fancy it anymore. But I've been sick. I've been off a lot. You know, so when I shake hands with my director, I say, thank you for the opportunity, but I have been off a lot. I've had a cold. I've had headaches. I've been off. Going to another job and saying, I'm only going to come and work here if you pay me a big wedge of money. They're going to do their due diligence. Luckily for football, we see these players in their previous clubs because they're all over the TV, all over social media, and thankfully we've looked at it and gone, no, absolutely not. And what I will say is this, and I'll ask you people and you lovely people in the chat. There's a few Newcastle fans, so they'll definitely agree. I think. Who wants Dominic Calvert-Lewin? Because Dominic Calvert-Lewin, for me, isn't... We talked a couple of weeks ago about Plan A, Plan B, Plan C, Plan D, Plan E. United seem to be having these at the moment. He isn't even a Plan F. He isn't even a Plan N. He isn't even a Plan Q. He's so far down the list. He is not anywhere near what we should be doing. Now, just go and sign him deadline day and it'll be egg on my face. No, the guy can't stay fit, so that is absolutely the first one. The second one is he's never been prolific. He had a little purple patch a few years ago. It's something that we don't touch with a barge pole, and I feel very, very confident that this Manchester United under the Wilcoxes and the Baradas look at that and say, thank you, next. Thank you, next. Off you go. So when I saw this with Ben Jacobs tonight, I thought, oh, thank God for that. Thank the bloody Lord. And we need to change this, people. We need to change this. Why is it always Sophie that's the first to like? In fact, actually, that reminds me, guys, if you are new to the channel, if you are new here for the first time, make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We are building. There you go. Oh, hang on a minute. I need to move Sophie a second. Hang on, Sophie. Let me just put you out the way a second. Hang on. Where are we? Where are we? There we go. Right. Like and subscribe and hit that bell for content, guys. We are still building that road to 500. Okay. We're getting there. We are getting there. I'm very proud of how far we've come in such a short period. It's fantastic. Yeah, Ben says no thanks. Agree with that. And yeah, absolutely, Sophie. Absolutely agree. Moxie says, sadly, that's what happens with players who are out of contract and think they're better than what they are. But good for United for not even entertaining DCL and his agent. Look, he's probably, I sound like Roy Keane. I've had something on my lip. He's probably he's a nice guy. He's a nice guy, but that's not the bag we're looking for. And also, what I will say on this, and tell me if you agree about this, and don't worry, Temesgen, I've not ignored your comments. I'll come to you in a second. Does this not re-amplify the fact that Manchester United are going out there to buy a striker? Because this tells me that we had a clear path to sort a number 9 out. It might not have been the number 9 we wanted, but there was a path there. We've said no twice. That to me says that we are looking at signing a striker. That to me says that we are in the conversations for a Watkins, maybe for a Gyökeres. More on that in a minute. This is good news. This is good news. We've not made the signings yet, and we are on the 3rd of July, and it still is absolutely infuriating me. I'm not kicking my toys at the pram, but I am getting pissy because I want to do a here we go with you guys. I can't wait to do a live and go, ladies and gentlemen, Bryan is in the building, but they're making us wait. They're making us wait. Andy says, DCL, I'd rather keep Rasmus. Do you know something? I agree. I actually agree with that. Poor bloke, no one wants him. Would you take him, Lucas? Are you taking him if he comes on a free? Answer me that. Answer me that. And Valsey might need that, mate. Might need that. As the channel grows, I might fucking need that. Jesus Christ. I work with HR quite a lot in my work. I've never been on the wrong side of them, though. Yeah. United, I want Osherman, Bryan, Emi Martinez, Nelson Diossa, Anderson. Okay, to United is better for next season, please. Do you know something? I've got to say this. if I could get you these players, I would absolutely get you these players. The ones you've listed, I think there is a possibility of two of them. I mean, there's a possibility of two of them. I think Ederson and Bryan, and maybe Emi Martinez. And never, nobody puts Sophie in the corner. Come on now. Yes, of course, it is a second time for Ben as well. Honestly, fantastic, mate, fantastic. And as Ben is quite rightly said about Keno, big baby. Only show I have watched today. I didn't feel comfortable commenting about anything else, to be honest. No, honestly, Sophie, it's been a scary one today. It's been a scary one, and oh dear me. 5 days until training starts. Thanks for getting me off that. 5 days until training starts. 19th of July, Leeds. One new player and Leon, to be honest. That's it. It's a shambles. If I was Amorim, I'd be prepping my speeches already. And Lucas, wise choice. Yeah, well, I mean, look, let's go back in time. With this. This would have been a perfect PR for Manchester United because it would have answered a couple of things. It would have answered our striker search, and it would also have appeased the fans in bringing in a player and saying, here we go. You've got two players now. I'm going to say I'd rather wait. I would rather wait to make sure we're signing the right signings for the club. We can go out there and do the scattergun approach. It's not going to work. It has to be the right signings. Now, the name that Ben Jacobs did mention, and Moxie says, I'm in the line of thinking, like you said, about the Bryan deal. Once it's done, it'll be a domino effect. Truly believe that Barada and Wilcox have it all figured out. We've got to, in the words of the everlasting George Michael, you've got to have a faith. I don't know if I can get done for copyright on that. And do you think 70 million is too much for Bryan? Don't worry about that, Sophie. We ain't paying 70 million for Bryan. I think maybe with add-ons, it might accumulate to that, but we won't be putting 70 M's down straight away for that. No chance. We need to get Watkins and Emi Martinez and Bryan. I'd be happy with just that happening. That's it, Jamie. That's exactly what I'm with you on that. And there we go. So yeah, there have been stories that have been recirculating. Ben Jacobs has come out today and said, look, Gyökeres was never out of the Manchester United conversation. He is interested in Arsenal. He wants to play for Mikel Arteta, but he has that relationship with Ruben Amorim. Now, I don't really want to dwell on this too much because I feel like if we continue to talk about, I know they say be a magnet and whatever you talk about and really believe in it, it will come to you. But Gyökeres ain't happening. Like Gyökeres, I get what Ben Jacobs is saying, and Ben Jacobs has been fantastic this season, but I just don't see it. I honestly don't. I don't want to be a football club that sits here and relies on Arsenal saying no to a player so that we can scoop him up. I don't. Now, if you're asking me, would I love it if Arsenal said no and then Gyökeres comes to us and scores a hat-trick on the opening day of the season for us against Arsenal? Hell yeah, of course I want that. Who doesn't? We would be giving so much to the Arsenal fans for that. But I don't want to be second choice, okay? I don't want to be second choice. I don't want there to be a hint of there being a second choice. Bryan, Cunha want to play for the club. They've come out and said it. That's their desire. I don't want to see us begging a player not to go to Arsenal and to come to us. So that's where I'm at with that. Moxie says when the players they want out of the club return to pre-season training, there'll be meetings and discussions, and then hopefully we'll see movement there as well. Well, I mean, look, we could be about to sort our first sale out of the summer. Hot off the press. Here's the kicker. It ain't a United player. Newcastle have bid 55 million for Elanga just tonight. Now, the talk is with the sell-on fee that Manchester United have, the clause, we would probably pick up about 8 million. So do we count that as a sale? I tell you what, I'm willing to count anything at the moment. But here's my problem. And I've seen a lot of people on their streams over the last 24 hours saying these things, okay, saying these points, and I go back to it and I've watched them and I thought, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, what's going through that head of yours when you're saying what you're saying? And I saw one very reputable one, I don't need to mention the name, but saying we're a joke club because we can't sell players. This is the same person who is moaning that the players won't go because they're on big fucking wages. Like, what is it? What do some of these fans want? We are still in a situation where the players we have from a previous regime, from a previous manager, some of them 2 or 3 managers, are on big clouts of money. They ain't going anywhere unless it means something for them. So when I look at this and I see these people saying, oh, our club's a joke because we can't sell these players, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And I'm sorry, but that's how angry I am about it. That's how angry it makes me. We are in a situation, we know this, where we've got the likes of Sancho, who, by the way, that is getting close with Juve. It is down to money at the moment. We got players like Sancho, who's on the money he's on. We got Anthony. Now, Anthony is willing to take a pay cut. We have got Rashford, who is just, he's waiting for Barcelona, may go to Bayern Munich. And then we've got Garnacho, who only wants to play in the Premier League. And I think due to the reasons of him being a petulant child, posting pictures of himself with an Aston Villa shirt on, with Rashford number 9. Could have had anyone on the back of there, but he went for Rashford because he knew what he was doing. Because of all these factors, we're not in the driving seat with these clubs, okay? And here's another side of it. We're all sat here saying, oh, well, you know, Bryan, they want 70 million. We only want to pay 60. Do you not think other rival clubs who want our players are not gonna do the same? We ain't gonna do that. So there's a time and a place to throw this at the ownership. Okay, there is a time and a place, but at the moment, this ain't it. We are at the behest of these players until we can find a solution where we say, right, Rashford, you are going to Munich. Right then, brilliant. Sancho, you have sorted out the pay thing. Off you go. Garnacho, stupidly, there's a club in the Premier League who will pay the money for you. Until this happens, we're going to have the same conversation over and over again. So to these big channels who have millions of followers, hundreds of thousands of followers, have a think about this. Instead of blaming, Sir Jim for this, instead of blaming Barada, instead of blaming Wilcox, look in the past. Look at where they are. Look at why we're in this situation. I'm sorry, I have to get that off my chest. It absolutely infuriates me. Let me go through some of these comments. I've had a right bitch fit there, and I'm really sorry. Right, so Valsey says, I heard Amorim says he wants the Bryan deal done by the 7th. We all want it done by that time, Valsey. And look, I said this last night, and I've said it the night before. I still think there's something there that says to me that that'll be done before the 7th. I can't see a world where we don't do this. PR nightmare if we don't. Absolute PR nightmare. You cannot have Barada come out and say to the fans, this is our target. We are getting the right players in now. We're going to do this. We're going to do that, and not come through on the first one. So I'm not as concerned. I think he'll be there by the 7th. It wouldn't surprise me. No amount of money is too much for Bryan. Exactly, Lucas. Exactly. You get it. Ben says arrival of Cunha and Ben, come on. Second night on the show. Remember, we don't say the M word, the M for mother word. We say Bryan. It's Bryan. He works his ass off, but got crap service last season. So Ben, because you're new, I love this actually, because this isn't a platform where I'm going to ask you an opinion. You're going to tell me, and I'm going to go, Ben, you're an idiot. What the hell are you talking about? I genuinely want to know. Have you still got faith in Højlund? And you wouldn't be the only one that says yes if you are. Andy says, if we are after Watkins, where is the money coming from for him? I've got something on that. Andy. I'll talk about that in a sec. Yes, Sophie, thank you. Smash those likes. The views don't. I can't see that at the moment, but the views don't match it. I think you're alluding to who I'm talking about. I'm not going to mention their name because I'll end up being mentioned in one of their videos and then I'll get cancelled. Yes, you have, Jamie. Thank you, mate. And 2 million for Jim, 6 million for Glazers. Club won't benefit. I like you, Ben. You talk good football. Chappie, hope you're well. Welcome again. Clubs think here comes easy money when we go in for their players. That is an absolute fact. And Valsey says Garnacho got Garnacho. Oh, he's gone. He's gone quiet. I'm surprised if he does that. It's a tough one with Garnacho because we have to remember when all's said and done, he's 21. Is he 20, 21? He's still a kid. He's still a kid by that. But he should have people around him advising him. If I was in his management and I was dealing with his and I saw his social media, I'd be saying to him, Garner, take that down now. Take it down now, for fuck. Take it down. If you want to leave the club, you've got to look professional. Don't do that. Who else we got? Jamie says, can't wait till him who can't be named leaves. Yes, Jamie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Moxie says, Alvaro to Real Madrid sell-on fee, Elanga to Newcastle sell-on fee, 16 to 18 million in the bank. Imagine. Sophie says, as I said, Dan, Man United are so far behind. It will take so much time, and players and clubs know you need players. Yeah, I know. And we kind of touched on that. And I will touch base on what I was talking to Vera about last night, because there are a couple of things I missed out that I do want to go for. And Andy, that there, people, that is the deal. That is the fucking deal United need to make. Absolutely. Garnacho going probs won't happen. Oh, right, I see what you mean. Oh, sorry, Valsy. Yeah. Garnacho going, probs won't happen. To be honest, not hearing anything about him. Can he turn it around at United? Do you know, I don't think there's a place for Garnacho anymore. Put a comment in. There's a few of you in the chat. Is there a place for Garnacho at Manchester United anymore? Do you really think Garnacho brought that top? I think Rashford definitely had something to do with that. Both as bad as each other. Let's not forget that, you know, Rashford, I look like Ace Ventura. I need another trim. Rashford come out saying my brother or whatever. Rashford has been apparently reportedly heard slating him, you know, saying he thought he was big time. So it's just, I don't know. I follow real people, not dings. Love that. Moxie, 11 million selling from us. Lucas says United need to get rid of these players ASAP. Going to be difficult to get a fair fee when these teams know United want these players gone. And Sophie says, don't get me wrong, as a Newcastle fan, I want competition. I want United back. I want football at its highest level. Just when you think you can't fall in love with this woman any more than you can. And I have to say it quietly because Mrs. Robinson is watching Love Island in that room. But Sophie, you're a legend. And I really appreciate you. What else have we got here? Valsy says, I'd like to see Højlund with Cunha and Bryan to see if it makes a difference. Give him another chance like Amorim. However, his first season was next level bad. Yeah, there you go. And there we go. Perfect. Ben, you've come in with a comment. Yeah, I really rate him, to be honest. Good service. You'll see a different player. Look, there is a world where Rasmus stays. There is. It's a world that I feel like is vanishing as the days go on, because there is reports that Manchester United are open to letting him go, be it on loan with an obligation or a transfer. I do feel like his chances are becoming less and less at staying at the club. And yeah, I completely agree with that, Sophie. Sophie, I think it will work out around 8 million. There we go. You're talking to each other. You're not even talking to me there. The problem... Hi, Carl. Hope you are. You were very early tonight, my man. When I logged on, I thought, bloody hell, Carl, that was 2 hours early. The problem is these days, all these football agents are all about making money and don't care about how you play. Yeah, I agree with that. And yes, here he is. Look who's come. Look who's here. It's me, Everest. Big up, everyone. Jota's news upset me a lot, so I've been feeling down all day. I also lost a friend a week ago, and now this happens. Can only pray for them and the family. Rest in power. Listen to me right now. It's me, Everest. Just remember, you are not alone, okay? This community, your family around you, your friends around you, all here for you, brother. And look, times like this, they are dark. They are, and it makes you sit there and question a lot of things. And it can put you in a situation, a very dark place. But you need to just remember, there are things that you have control of, and the thing you have most control about is reaching out, is making sure you're talking to your friends, talking to us. DM me. I'm always about if you want to chat, mate. I'm here for you. Yes, where else are we? Elanga deal is apparently done. Oh, I'd love that. Agents, not dates. I thought that's what you meant, Carl. And yes, there we go. Baba Flossie. If you are Baba Flossie, have I seen you here before? If I haven't, make sure you like and subscribe. And yes, Ben, it's very, very rare that I will say these words because I am a Manchester United fan. However, I think in a moment like this, it is completely relevant to all people affected by this. You will never walk alone. Absolutely not. And there you go, Everest. Straight away. Look at that. Look at the community we have here. We're all in this. We are all in this together, by the way. All in this together. Now, someone asked me, let me just have a quick look. Let me go back through about sales, about PSR. Where was it? I'll find it in a second. There is news. So again, with Ben Jacobs today, come out with another perler. PSR, are we holding back a couple of weeks here because we still need to be compliant? Now, he was kind of, and look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I know everything about PSR because I'm like you guys. We're fans. We know what we see and what we hear. But what I will say is, Everest, make sure you comment, mate. Let's check you're all right there. The thing that he did say is United could absolutely be waiting a couple of weeks to let the dust settle before going out there and then maybe chucking out some money to bring these players in before the sales come in. Because apparently there's like a couple of weeks cooling off period where, people are still filing accounts. You do have a couple of weeks to, if there's a sale going on in the background that could help PSR, as long as you've got proof of it, you can utilise that. So I just wonder if Manchester United may be doing that. Now, again, like I said, I'm not a financial expert, but normally when Ben Jacobs says something, we tend to get it's pretty bang on. And then what else is there? So tonight, as I said about with the new striker situation, if, and when I say if this Bryan deal is done, and I mean done by the weekend, don't be surprised if again Manchester United start going in full bore with that striker search, with a Watkins, with potentially a Gyökeres. I feel like there is going to be a lot happen after this Bryan deal. We talk about the domino effect. We're waiting for that one domino to fall. This could be key. This could absolutely be key. And thank God, I'm so glad I can see this. Thank you very much, everyone. I know I've never met any of you, and I live so far away. I value all of you as my own community. Thank you for lending me a shoulder. I must start valuing everyone around me more. Hey, honestly, it's me, Everest. We're only human. And that's why we need to utilize each other. You're a top human being. I mean that. Ben says, I thought PSR reset on the 1st. It did, but I think what they're saying, Ben, is there's still that cooling off period where people can go out there and file bits and pieces for sales if they're struggling to get it across the board. So it's just something that Ben said today. Saying Ben, it's like I know him personally, and it just when I heard it, I thought, well, maybe this explains why we haven't come straight out of the traps and just gone for it. So it's something to keep an eye on. Now, when I was talking about Garnacho, he did have something very, very interesting about that as well. So apparently, now, again, we're going to have to wait and see on this. So clubs have registered interest in Garnacho. Now, 3 of them, we know one of them was Chelsea. One of them is Aston Villa, the shirt. And the other one is Napoli. Now, apparently Manchester United are saying they want 70 million. 70 million euros, so 60 million quid. I would be absolutely stunned if we got 60 million for Garnacho. Now, I can see him going for maybe a 45 million with add-ons. I can see that absolutely, but I'd be stunned if we got 60 million for him. This is where the argument goes, and this is what I wanted to go back to, what you were kind of talking about before. With the 2 players that we've got coming in, Bryan, now Cunha, if Garnacho was to stay, how would a Manchester United team look with Garnacho in it? How would that look? Let me get a sip. Hang on. That is so nice. Oh, my God. Because I don't see it. I don't see where Garnacho fits into that team. Garnacho, if he stayed, would have to fall back into being a substitute, coming off the bench and maybe doing things in games, starting the lesser games. I don't see a future for him. And I actually feel like maybe this is why we're seeing him act like he is, because the players that have been brought in. We talk about Garnacho believing that he is Ronaldo, and we know that. We've seen it several times. His demeanour on the pitch, what he tries. This is also the evidence of, for me, a player that maybe it doesn't back himself as much as his arrogance would let you believe. So The Garnacho one, whilst it's sad because it's one of our youth players, if that can get done, that is going to absolutely sort out so many issues for Manchester United, because what it's going to do is that will fund the striker. Whoever comes in and buys him, that will fund the striker. That will fund 40, 50, 60 million, which is what we're looking at paying for the strikers we've been linked. You had even Tony that was around about 30, 40 million. You've got Watkins, who, to be fair, Watkins is looking at is between 40 and 60. Gyökeres as well. Gyökeres is around the 60 to 70. So these dominoes, man, they're starting, aren't they? They're starting to absolutely fall. Now, what I want to talk about next is I was very vocal last night, and when I was talking to Errol about Manchester United and where they should be finishing. Oh, hang on a minute. Let's get these comments in. Sorry, I haven't been reading these bloody comments. We are United. I believe everything will kick off and take place once we sell Garnacho, Sancho, Anthony, Rashford, and maybe even Højlund. We just can't buy while we still have these players. Well, this is the facts. This is the facts. And also, please unite. Oh my God, Temesgen, right? Temesgen. What is your shopping list like when you go food shopping? You don't want much, do you? So what we got? Leeds United, Sancho and Vlahovic. I don't want Vlahovic. I'm going to say this right away. I don't want Vlahovic. Vlahovic, his stats last season were no better than Rasmus Højlund's. They were no better. So for me, I'm not buying that one. I don't want him. I definitely don't want him. Yeah, don't put that on the bloody screen. Imagine that. And Ben says, Garnacho, 10 out of 10 for confidence. Generous, 5 out of 10 for end product. So I think we're pretty much in agreement here, aren't we? I think we're absolutely in agreement. But here's what I wanted to talk about tonight, okay? So I said last night that Manchester United are no longer going to be competing with the likes of Newcastle, Arsenal, City, Chelsea, and Liverpool. They're the 5 that we're not going to be competing with. With the ones around us, with the Brightons, Bournemouths, Brentfords, Villas, Spurs, Fulham, Forest, and Palace, what is everybody's thoughts in the chat tonight here? In that mini table, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, with us 8. In that mini table, can Manchester United become the winners of that table and secure Europa League football? Can they? It's a question I'll ask you guys. Because when you deep dive these teams at the moment, Giniesta, I hope you are well, my friend. I hope you are well. I hope you are well. Say again, who? Oh, sorry, Sophie. You were too busy with your bloody Insta girl. Bournemouth, Brighton, Brentford, Villa, Spurs, Fulham, Forest, and Palace. Can Manchester United finish above that group? Now, with Palace, Sophie, it's an interesting one because I'd have agreed with you with Palace, but if they lose a Mark Gahey, if they lose Eze, I think that's 2 solid players. If Mateta goes anywhere, I'd love him at our club. That's the spine of their club. I feel like out of all of them, they probably would be one of the toughest ones to finish above. Villa at the moment, for me, haven't done a thing apart from sell the women's team. So Villa, I actually feel like with our signings, if we get Bryan over the line and we get a striker, I think we're actually. I mean, imagine if that striker's Watkins, by the way. In doing this, people are not actually thinking about Villa in the correct place here. They're not thinking about it the right way. So with Villa, potentially losing Martinez, potentially losing Watkins, that's 2 players, oddly enough, that would fix all of our problems. They are in a situation, I think, where this summer is such an important one. And we're not a Villa fan channel, so I'm not going to dwell on that too much. But I absolutely look at Villa this season, and I think they're gettable. I do think they're gettable if we get the right people in. Andy says, Defo Dan. Thank you very much, Andy. With Bryan and potentially a decent striker, I'd say we were in with a really good shot. Yes to all apart from Palace. Jamie says, this is why I love football as much as we hate rival teams. When there is a loss of a player, we all pull together and show love. We're a community. Football is... Have you ever watched Ted Lasso? Danny Rojas. Football is life, okay? But in some occasions, there are things far more important, and we've seen that today. And Ben says, at the moment, I'd say 6th, okay? Glasner is class, by the way. Yeah, Glasner is absolutely class, Sophie, but I just don't know. I mean, if they get that Diamonde in, then they are going to look look. If they get Diamonde and they keep Guehi and maybe keep Eze or sign someone in his place, then they'll be a decent outfit. But I'm not. I don't know. We weren't a million miles off them last season. That hurts to say. With Onana in goal, we're coming sixth at best in this mini league. I have got stuff about Onana in a minute. Actually, I will go through. Oh, Sophie, what have I done to you tonight, girl? I think Brighton will do well this season. Top 7. Very topsy-turvy last season, Brighton. I like Watkins. His age goes against Bayern youth. Does, absolutely. And I'll come back to that. In fact, let me star that comment. And there's another one. I'm going to star that one, Ben. I've starred a couple of comments because I want to come back to them. I believe Lasso effect. Valsey, honestly. Ted Lasso, man. I just love that man. If there was ever someone who was real, who I would follow everywhere, it would be that man. Dan, I have a different question. Okay, what's this? Who do you think is better than you next season? Okay, now are we excluding? So with that, I will answer that, Sophie. But are we having some context in this? Are we gonna discard the ones that I said that I don't see us going against? Because if it's that, then I'll give you my answer. And Chappie says last season, we played better against the top clubs and didn't turn up against the lower teams' psychological issues. Absolutely, there was no that we couldn't win 2 games in a row, and that in the end hurt us. That absolutely hurt us. Okay, Sophie's come back. So Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City, Newcastle, Forest, and Villa. So that's who you're saying that will finish above us next season. Okay. Liverpool, absolutely. Arsenal, absolutely. Man City, absolutely. Newcastle, absolutely. Chelsea, I'm going to add Chelsea in there. Absolutely. Oh, you've put it there as well. Absolutely. Now, with Forest and Villa, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. We are sitting here, by the way, so I know that I sound like a flip-flop, and I've just sat here and told you that we're not signed anybody else yet, but I still have firm belief that Manchester United are going to get this Bryan deal done, and then we're going to see the other things happen. Players leave the club. If we get, and I go back to last week or a week and a half ago where I said to you, number 9 after Bryan, a central midfielder, and a goalkeeper. If we get those signings right, Sophie, I would back us to do well against Forest, against Villa. The only team in there that I would say you never know. I don't know. I don't know if I can say Spurs. I don't think I can say Spurs. I'm going to stick with what I've said. Forest and Villa, I think if we get the right signings, I think we can absolutely finish above. But the others, no, definitely not. Definitely not. No, I agree, actually. I don't think you're too, but I do think you're too far away. Okay, that's fair enough. 38 games, no Thursday games, more energy. Osman, you look new to me, my friend. Make sure you've subscribed. Carl says, yeah, Forest might struggle more due to European games. Wouldn't be the first team to. We've seen that happen several times. Yeah, oh, God. Dumfries ain't coming to us, to Mezgen. I think he'll end up at City. I got a fly there. Look at that. Like a ninja. I think he'll go to City or to Barcelona. Lucas says, I see United finish above Forest, to be honest, with them possibly losing Elanga and Chris Wood only getting older. They could slip down the league quick. Now, it's a tough one with Forest because I do have allegiances to Wolfie. He's been a great help to me with this channel. But Forest, for me, have to do more. They've just finished a fantastic season. I heard people ridicule them, by the way, for where they finished in the league. I don't see how you can. For them to be escaping relegation a couple of years ago to now being in Europe, you can't dismiss that. But, and I think Wolfie would agree with this, he might not like to admit it, but they have not done enough yet in the transfer window. And that goes for a lot of clubs. Villa, I've just said, haven't done it. Spurs have hardly done anything. Newcastle is still waiting. Elanga could be the first. And then obviously you've got Trafford. Who else is there? Brentford have signed one. Bournemouth have been pulled apart. Brighton always make good signings, so I'm not worried about them. Fulham are looking at players. So it opens up the market. And what I will say is last season I made this prediction where I said the first 2 or 3 are settled for me. I said this at the start of the season. Now, ridiculously, I put United third. So don't read too much into this. I can be wrong. But what I did say was from third down, it would be chaos. And I absolutely see that being the same case this season. I think this season is going to be chaotic. Manchester United, 1 game a week, okay? Then you're contending with the likes of Forest, who have got European football. You've got Villa, European football. It's going to be a topsy-turvy season for a lot of the teams. I don't see Man City at the moment running away and being the only challengers to Liverpool. I genuinely don't. They've spent a lot of money, and LB I'll have to get on the show soon because he's obviously he's Mr. Man City, but I haven't seen enough yet. I haven't seen enough from them at the moment. I genuinely feel like Liverpool could run away with this. I genuinely do. Emery, to be fair, is very capable of finishing in top 6. Nuno may fall off, I'd say. Oh, come on, Osman. Come on, Osman. We ain't there yet, dude. Valsey said, if we get Bryan down, we need to have a special 9 o'clock live party. It's been almost a year, hasn't it? It feels like it. You remember the Titanic when she says, it's been 87 years. I will even, when we get Bryan, I will exchange this for a beer. I'm telling you. I don't know if I'm allowed to do that actually on YouTube. I'll have to research that. Didn't mention them for a reason. Here we go. Hazardous 24/7. As a Forest fan, I can't see us getting top 7 again, especially if Elanga does go. Elanga, did anybody see his stats for assists? In the last 2 seasons, he's got more assists than Cole Palmer and Saka. What stat that is. Newcastle know exactly what they're doing when they buy these players, by the way. They don't just buy anybody. They do their due diligence. Yes, and Sophie again, Queen Sophie. Make sure you're subscribing. From Mauritius. Oh, I bet you're okay with the heat then. It's bloody muggy here, mate. If Forest lose Elanga... here we go. If Forest lose Elanga, they'll be nowhere near us. Nowhere near as good. Sorry, I had something on my phone now. I thought it was Bryan news. No, I agree with that, Ben. Forest aren't going anywhere, says Sophie. Fair. And look at this. The community, we're building friends. We're a group of pen pals by the end of this evening, I think. What else have we got here? Garnacho, 24-25, played about 58 games, 11 goals, 10 assists. João Pedro, 30 games, 10 goals, 7 assists. So if he was 60 million, then that's the minimum we should aim for. And Garnacho is 2 years younger. I agree to a certain extent, Moxie, but I also don't think João Pedro's attitude has come into it as much as Garnacho's has. And I kind of feel like, how old is João Pedro? So is João Pedro 23, 24? I would rather pay the money for João Pedro than Garnacho. That's my idea on it. Paradise Island, nice beach, and hope for the best. Yes. You don't come up. Who's this? Oh, you lot are still talking about bloody Insta? Come on now. Andy says we'll finish 6th with the right players in a good pre-season, and Amorim will have plenty of time to drill the players for his system. Factual, absolutely factual. Carl says I'm not totally convinced over Arsenal. If they start badly, I think Arteta goes. Yeah, but then you flip that, Carl. If they sign a striker, I think it takes a top striker, no doubt about it, takes Arsenal to the next level. That's what's kept them from winning the title the past 2 seasons. Geordie 2 for life says, Dan, I know you want more goals, and I agree, but your midfield looks weak in my opinion. Thoughts? So Ben Jacobs said this about Amorim tonight, that apparently Amorim is a massive fan of Ugarte. Now, there have been reports that they fell out. We know that. Ugarte, for me, gets 1 more season. He does. I feel like he come in when the club was in absolute disarray last season. Dorgu the same. He has to have another chance this season of seeing what he can do. My worry is that I feel like we're going to see Ugarte and Bruno as the 2 6s pivoting. That won't work. That absolutely won't work, which is why I think we need to go out there and get a specialist like a Douglas Luiz. But the other side I will say with that Geordie Team for Life is United have identified the first major problem. And the first major problem was that the 10 position and the striker. Goalkeeper is absolutely next. Midfield, I feel like, is the next part of that project. I think Andy put last night, and he's so true, Rome wasn't built in a day. But we were never going to be able to go out there and sort all these problems out. We just weren't. So I do take your comment though. Where else have we got here? We need to field youths and change our predictability. Well, the youths are getting the chances. They absolutely are, Osman. And Lucas says, I don't know what the problem with City is right now. It must be mentally, because surely it can't be the players. They're so good and only getting better. So excited to see Rangers. City have just played too much football, I think. I feel sorry for the City and Chelsea players, because this Club World Cup is just a waste of time. I mean, look, they're making money off it, and they are going to get a good whack of money. But there comes a point where players' welfare has to come into this. Playing in America in that heat is only going to damage them. It's only going to damage them. So I feel like these poor players need a break. And also, rather selfishly, I can't even say it, selfishly, there's a lot of English players that are going and playing over there at the moment. The World Cup's next year. I wanted these players to have a summer off. I mean, luckily the United England players did, because they didn't get picked and they don't go and they don't, we were in the Club World Cup. But I just worry. Yeah, you're right, Ben. His actions haven't helped, but can see why we're asking 70. Look, you always ask for more, don't you, Moxie, to be fair? And then you can always come down. So I take that. Where are we now? 23. Oh, he is 23. Okay. Alex, hope you're well. Sorry I got here late. Just want to say RIP to Jota. Really sad news. Hope everyone's doing well. On and up. Please announce Bryan. We want Bryan. We need Bryan. You know what I'm saying on that. Dan, I haven't seen the notebook yet on this stream. I have. I did. You just didn't see it. There it is. Look at that. Tell you what. I could sell these notes. Look at all these notes I write, man. All those notes, eh? I wasn't picking my nose. I've got an idea. I'll let you into a little secret. So, guys, if you look in the top corner, you can see my logo. Yeah. I've gone and ordered some books with the logo on. I feel like I need to brand a little bit the notebook, because it seems to get a lot of like. And let's be honest, this is DCL at the moment, an insurer. We don't want to give them airtime. Come on now. I don't think we'll get relegated, but I take anywhere between 12th and 8th. That's not a bad shout at all, Hazardous. Yes, I do think top 10 next season. Of course I do. What else have we got here? Yeah, 10th is a minimum. Need less referee bias versus us. I don't know about that, Osman. I think we've got away with it for a while with refs, to be fair. Fulham is better than Man United right now. That is a reality. Oh, I don't know about that, Sophie. You have to look season on season consistently. They've had a good season, haven't they? But you got to remember, Fulham finished where they finished. That is like elite for them. Can they continue this? United having a bad season, will they come back? You have to look on the consistency there. I mean, season on season, they've had a great season, but I'm not so sure. I think we're all right. If you play Ugarte and Luiz, where is Bruno playing? We've got to sign him first. So, Andy, we've got to sign him, mate. We've got to sign him. Look, I would expect it to be Bruno and Luiz, to be fair. Or Luiz and Ugarte, sort of, between them. As I said last night, Ugarte has not been as bad as people are making out. First season in the Prem, and faded towards the end of the season after playing a lot. Amorim knows what he can do and what he's capable of. Don't get me wrong. Excuse me. What I like about Ugarte is he's a bad man. And I mean, he will fly into tackles. And we love that. United fans love seeing a player that doesn't give a flying hoot and just bang. He could endear himself to the fans very, very quickly. Very, very quickly. And there are some fantastic youth in there. I agree, Osman. Radic, the keeper, JJ Gabriel. He's the one that's just signed a new contract. They're dubbing him the mini Messi. Amas, Collier, Chido, Heaven, and Fletcher. Chido and Heaven, man. There we go. See, there's the love. There's the love. No, I never think she jokes, to be fair. I never think she jokes. I never, ever think that Sophie jokes. She does come out with... she does... Geordie 2 for life with the comment of the night. Manchester United fans, have I just cursed us with Dominic Calvert-Lewin? Because look what my fucking notebook says. What have I done? 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 I've cursed us. I've cursed us. I've cursed Manchester United. Right, that's out. What else we got? We got a couple here. Folgate. Granite underwriting. Granite, yeah. We'll go with Granite because Granite is tough. And that's what Man United need to be. That's going in the fucking bin, that is later. That is going in the bin. Ridiculous. Any team is better than us. Maybe now things will change. We hope so, Osman. Yeah, sorry, but not sorry, eh? And Ben says, defo time for a new notebook. Yeah, look, and to be fair, yeah, we're going to go with this, guys. We're going to go with Granite. Hang on a minute. Granite. Rhymes with Ranit. Duran ran it. Aston. Oh no, that's gone. Can't have that one. We're gonna have to think of another one. I'm gonna have to get another fucking book. DCL, it was there all along. Ben McLean. Yeah. Let's not dwell on that. The wife's gonna think I'm throwing stuff out the bloody room. He threw it. Honestly, it's gone. We're not doing this. We're not keeping anything with DCL on there. Right. Andy made a point before, and let's delve into this. And then there is. Do you know? I am going to have to get that fucking book because I've got notes from tonight on that. Oh God! I'll have to get it, won't I? Tell you what we'll do, though. We'll fucking. I can't even scribble it out. I'm having a meltdown here. I don't know what I'm going to do about that. Don't worry, we'll figure something out. So Andy said about I like Watkins. His age goes against Bayern youth. There's a conversation had about that. Chido Obi is obviously 18, 17. He's got to develop as a player. I'm not against the Manchester United bringing in a striker who is in his prime or sort of late 20s. To come and hold down the fort and allow Chido Obi to become a decent player. I think if we were to do that, Watkins could quite easily come in for a couple of seasons. By the way, I fixed it. Look at that. Thinking. Watkins could absolutely come in for 2 or 3 years, take up the striking position, do his thing up front, and then essentially move on and allow Chido Obi to develop and come and take the place. I've got no concerns with that. Absolutely not. What else have we got here? Luke Chapman says, my support, Northampton Town. Nothing wrong with Northampton Town. The Dan Bible. Don't be saying that. Mateta, yeah, I agree. Mateta would be a stunning signing. And the next book will have Longstaff on it. It bloody won't. Welbeck, I would take Welbeck. You know my thoughts on Welbeck. I said we should have got Welbeck at the start of last season. But I was laughed at for that as well. People forgetting about that before the abysmal season United just had, we'd never finished below 8th since 1990. It was a one-off. Please God, honestly, we can't go through this again. And Watkins makes sense, says Giniesta. He'll stretch and create space for Bryan and Cunha. This is a fact. He will also stretch and create space, I feel like, for Diallo coming up. And Watkins can get on the end of things. So when you've got Dorgu getting down the wing, because Dorgu last season, people slated him, but the amount of chances he put into that box, the amount of times he got to the byline and was drilling that ball in, I think it was crying out for a striker who could put it away. Now, the other comment I wanted to go to was Ben's comment about Onana. So with Onana in goal, we're coming 6th at best in the mini league. Now, there's a lot of sort of. It's the unknown with Onana, and it's not just for us, it's for Onana himself. Onana is basically waiting for Manchester United to tell him, you're our number one, but they haven't told him that yet. Ben Jacobs again reported that if he come back on for pre-season training, you could pretty much look at it as United are keeping him as number one. But I still think there's a world where if we sell the players, if we get these players out the club, I wonder if we will then go out there and sign a keeper and keep hold of Onana until he sits there and goes, I'm not wanted here. I need to get out of here and play regular football. So don't sleep on the Onana one. There is a world, I think, where Onana doesn't stay at Manchester United. And thank you, Geordie Toofly. Hit the likes, lads and lasses. Sorry. Let's give Dan the support he needs and deserves. Deserves thanks to the fans. Guys, we are literally trying to get to that 500 subscribers mark, and we're doing really well. We're making good time. We're making very, very good time. In fact, I'll tell you what, let's see if this is a sign. We are going to put We are going to put positive things here, guys. That's a fucking sign. The pen doesn't work. What do we do? What do we do, eh? Dan, do me a favour. Just write kudos on the back of the notebook for me, please. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Now, Lucas, sorry, everyone, not just you, Lucas. That looks like I'm coming for you. We got 5 minutes left, guys and girls. I'm going to have to get an early night tonight because I've been going to the gym early in the morning every week this week, and it's absolutely knackering me. But this is your time. This is your time to get a question or two in. You know me, open book, happy to run through. Whilst you're doing that, let's have a quick look on Twitter and see if there's been any other bits and pieces released about Manchester United. Can't see anything on that. There's a lot saying that Newcastle, as Sophie put, are on the verge of having acceptance for Elanga, but no, I can't see there's anything from United. And why would there be at this time of night, eh? Why would there be at this time of night? Just checking again there. No, there's not. Whew! Right then, guys, that was a good show tonight. That was good because, as always, you get the comments in. We have a great conversation. There's plenty we can discuss. Tomorrow is Friday, so tomorrow night I will be on Redmen TV at 7 o'clock. And then we'll be back here at 9 for the Friday show. Ginny Esther comes in with a question. Which three managers will get sacked first, in your opinion? Oh, just when I was about to say goodbye, you pulled me back in with that. Which three managers do I think will get sacked first? That is a great question. Chat, get involved in this. Keith Andrews. I think that's going to go horribly wrong at Brentford. So I think, Keith Matthews. Keith Andrews, that's my mate Steve, I'm saying his second name. So Keith Andrews, let me look at the other teams. Who's come up? Leeds, though. Oh, do you know something, though? Leeds with Daniel Farke. See, it's me. Everest has just come there as well. I'm going to go with Barry Simpson. You're new. Nice to see you. Make sure you subscribe. I'm going to go with Keith Andrews. I am going to go with Farke. And I'm going to go with, and this might surprise you, I'm going to go Nuno. If Forest don't have an electrifying start to the season, I feel like he could be under a lot of pressure. And thank you, Sophie. Much appreciated there. So it's me, Everest, as he has said. Thomas Frank. Wow, guys haven't got through the door yet. Leeds manager and Sunderland manager. Nuno will get sacked, says Barry. Farke, Andrews. Maresca, that's a shout out of somewhere. That's a shout because Chelsea need to push on this season now, don't they? That is a great shout. That is Ginny Esther. Leeds, Burnley, and Sunderland. You think the three gaffers? So what? That's Farke, Scotty Parker, and I can't remember the Sunderland gaffer, to be fair. Spurs, Wolves, and Brentford, says Ben McLean. Sophie, whoa! Sophie, come on now. Come on. Sophie, come on now. Don't say that. I don't think Amorim's sat first. I don't think he is. Leeds for Lucas. Andrews, Nunes, and Franks. Okay. Yeah, he is. He is ruthless. Emery as well. I'm not sure Emery will go. Sophie, I'm hoping that there is a time later on this season that you'll see the light. I've got to back him. You know that. Levi is impatient. Spurs fan base is already quite divided in Frank. I just don't know. I think Frank will be given a season at least. I actually think, it terrifies me to say this, I think Frank's going to do a good job at Spurs. Libri, thank you very much, Geordie Team for Life. Sophie is ruthless. You're correct. And yes, you are honest, and we wouldn't have you any other way, Sophie. We would not have you any other way. Right then, guys. And yeah, we should all be pranking Billy. Good chat as always, people. Look after yourself, Everest. Bryan Brigade, Oot. Everybody, flood this chat with Bryan Brigade, and I will see you all. If you want to catch me on the Redmen TV tomorrow night, I'll be posting a link on my Twitter tomorrow. Other than that, I will see you all tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Is this where we get The here we go for Bryan. Is it what we get? This is what we want. But you know what we say, guys. Dan United, Bryan Brigade. Ooh,